And welcome back to our premiere challenge here at Psycho Turtle Collectibles, hosted by Pokemon Labs. We've got round 3 coming at you, and if you are scared of dragons, then look away because we have Regidrago coming out, and that's on Grant Weldon's team, while Younggyun Kim on the right with Roaring Moon. So we got a Battle of the Dragons. Grant on the left with that Tornadus, Regidrago, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, or Single Strike, excuse me, for Draft and Heatran, while Younggyun on the right with Roaring Moon, Fluttermane, Iron Hands, Arcanine Hisui, Rillaboom, and Urshifu, Rapid Strike. So very different teams.
Yeah, as much as we like to see that Regidrago, it's gonna be tough to fit it in here. Obviously, Fluttermane walls it pretty completely. Not to mention the Iron Hands is actually Terra Fairy. There's a lot of interesting Pokemon on the Younggyun's team. The Terra Fairy Iron Hands, the Fluttermane with Charm, the Arcanine Hisui with Howl. A lot of stuff you don't see a whole lot of. And then of course that Roaring Moon, it's got the Booster Energy attack and Dragon Dance to boost up its speed stat as well as its attack, obviously.
This is just a very interesting combo of Pokemon. I really like Roaring Moon in this case, actually, just because I like seeing the Dragon Dance. But the one thing that does concern me with Younggyun's team is there's not speed control, really. I mean, you have a lot of fast Pokemon with Fluttermane. Rillaboom's got priority, Urshifu's got priority, Arcanine's got priority, but like
Arcanine does not have priority.
it does not have extreme speed, right? Okay, so never mind. You got So it's
but still, there is a lot of priority, but there's not a lot of speed control.
Yeah, and that's scary when you've got Tornadus looming on Grant's team. Not to mention, there's also Trick Room looming on Grant's team. You got Ferreira with Trick Room, and Heatran works very well in that team as well. So let's get right into it.
Iron Hands Arcanine lead from Younggyun, and Grant will send out Tornadus and Heatran.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting position. You do get your Tailwind off right away, and Heatran could just then go for that Earth Power onto Arcanine, so it kind of forces it right away to go for a Terra. You could also see that Fake Out. I actually think protecting on Heatran is not necessarily a bad option, but you also have Fake Out there from Iron Hands kind of looming on the Heatran, but there's also the chance that the Iron Hands is just going to go straight up attack and Wild Charge into that. Tornadus getting rid of it. So this is one of those positions where you got to consider every possible option, and there's a lot of them, and then decide which is the best option for my team. Do I just let my Tornadus go down? And we did see that Regidrago coming out, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Tailwind and then instant switch right there, partner it with Heatran, so that way that Arcanine can go down even though it's resisted, but a lot of options here.
The Arcanine switching out into the Fluttermane.
That's not bad, especially like I said, if we do see. But I think this may have been a turn too early for that switch in, because now it's like, okay, if you're Grant, you're like, okay, I'm not going to switch in my Regidrago while there's a Fluttermane
exactly, there. And even more so when this is a Terra Fairy Iron Hands taking the field.
That is definitely not what you want to see for Regidrago. Tornadus with that Protect.
I'm going to stall out the first turn with the Protect, so Younggyun got the free switch there. It's the double Protect, so it was a free switch for Younggyun, but also using the Terra a little early. Going for the Heavy Slam, I wonder if that was predicting the Heatran Terrastalizing.
I mean, it wasn't a horrible Terra. Wanted to try and dodge that Drain Punch, but I think that play just put Younggyun in a much worse position, because Flash Cannon is... Don't forget, his Heatran is Life Orb, so Flash Cannon's going to do a lot, and potentially one-hit KO this Fluttermane. Tornadus now has potential to start going for a Tailwind, and even though that Regidrago's in the back, and it's not going to be able to do like anything with Dragon Energy, it still is a numbers game in Grant's favor, and we're going to see that Terrestrial right now, which is the Heatran to Fairy.
We'll see that Terrestrial. The Fluttermane swapped back out into the Arcanine. The original leads back in again for each side. Nobody has hit anyone yet in this first battle here of round 3. This is a scary phase. This is the very speed control Tornadus from Grant. The Flash Cannon following up onto that Arcanine. So Arcanine will be able to take those hits. Drain Punch into the Heatran is going to do just a touch of damage.
And it's a position now where, yeah, I think you're safe to go for a Tailwind. You're probably going to lose your Tornadus. I actually think Protect on Tornadus is the right call while you go for another Flash Cannon onto the Arcanine slot. Cannot Protect, so you're free to just get rid of it. And then you know that if you protect your Tornadus, it's like, okay, Iron Hands, it's the Wild Charge is not going to pick up a knockout if I protect. I don't think, and I think you want to kind of save your Tailwind until you're in a more favorable position than right now. So I wouldn't be surprised that it's either Tailwind or protect. But I think keeping Tornadus on the field a little longer is more important. You could also go for a Bleak Wind Storm, but I think that's not going to knock out the Arcanine.
I would agree with that, and yeah, no reason not to just pick up the knockout Arcanine. We'll see the Bleak Wind Storm, not going to knock out the Arcanine.
I don't think that was the right call. I think that, I mean, it drops his speed, so now it's a -3 Arcanine, but...
It's a very slow Arcanine, and now it's a very knocked out Arcanine.
I think it's just that not going for a spread move like Heat Wave and like doubling up. I think just having that single target of Flash Cannon onto Arcanine was a bit of a waste.
Wild Charge, going to take Tornadus down to the Focus Sash.
Yeah, I still think that, I mean, it's not bad, because again, it is down to Focus Sash, but like, I feel like Protect and just targeting Flash Cannon would have done just a bit better. And now with Urshifu coming out with that Aqua Jet in play, it is very scary for Tornadus. You kind of have to go Tailwind this turn, like, right away.
Yeah, make sure you get your Tailwinds in while you can, and at that point, Heatran is a pretty easy opportunity to Flash Cannon into the Iron Hands. Won't be the most damage in the world, but you need to get that thing down eventually. Tailwind comes out.
Still not a bad position for Grant, though. There's that Aqua Jet, but...
Is indeed the Aqua Jet, finishing off the Tornadus.
Now, you do have that Regidrago kind of ready to go against that Urshifu.
Yeah.
And Flash Cannon does... Oh, but it doesn't quite pick up the knockout on Iron Hands, and that may be crucial.
That may be crucial. It's the Heavy Slam in return. We'll see how much this does. I remember running the numbers recently on Heavy Slam up into that, and it does shockingly little damage up into the Terra Fairy Heatran.
It's like, you're better off with a Wild Charge, I think.
I think you are better off with a Wild Charge. Heatran's just very heavy, I suppose. The problem here with Regidrago is that you're really only... The Dragon is only 2 damage to Urshifu, and Urshifu just gets destroyed by Grassy Glide anyways, with the Miracle Seed.
This isn't a horrible spot. It is, like you said, it is Assault Vest Rillaboom, so I think you're okay. But I think that Urshifu's still going to be threatened. So
yeah, I apologize. I got the Rillabooms mixed up there.
No, you're good. But I think, in my opinion, I think this is the time to switch out your Heatran, because I feel like going into, you're pretty much guaranteed to get rid of the Iron Hands here, either with the Grassy Glide or and that's exactly what I thought.
If you Grassy Glide into the Urshifu, what is the downside?
Yeah, I mean, Fluttermane is gonna take. It'll probably go down.
The Earth Power, so it's not the Grassy Glide.
This Heatran, though, is just on its last
It's the Wood Hammer going into the Iron Hands. That definitely knocks out. I'm surprised it wasn't just the Grassy Glide into the Urshifu.
I'm actually surprised. Yeah, you know,
I don't see the downside in that play.
I feel like
it's not nothing bad happened to Grant there. You're still under Tailwind. You still have the opportunity to Grassy Glide. I just am kind of surprised. I think that turn could have been a little bit better.
I thought even if you Grassy Glide, you would then lose your Heatran, which is not... I mean, you kind of have to...
I mean, Heatran would be able to take out the Iron Hands first, is the thing.
Not if it goes for Aqua Jet, which I think would have been enough.
Oh, yeah.
So I was surprised...
I'm saying, Grassy Glide have knocked out in one hit against the Urshifu? Probably not.
Grassy Glide
have good damage.
Grassy Glide wouldn't have, but that's why I was thinking maybe a switch into that Regidrago, because then you could just take whatever water moves come out. But Earth Power going to connect, but onto the Urshifu slot. Still a good position for Grant. I mean, even with that, because this Wood Hammer is going to be able to
Wood Hammer is absolutely destroying the Fluttermane. Critical hit did not matter, but was very satisfying to see.
And now this is why you bring out Regidrago, because at this point you collect Dragon Energy and
now Regidrago is fine. I don't even know if you really need to.
No, you can just cook Wood Hammer too, and
you get to maintain the illusion of what that last Pokemon could be. Younggyun just going to cancel the battle anyways. But yeah, I think one of the 2 players doesn't even know what the 4th Pokemon was.
That's always kind of nice to hide that information.
It is always nice, because now you could say, oh, I'll bring a slightly less fairy heavy team. Maybe I won't Terra the Iron Hands. Maybe I won't bring the Fluttermane. And then you find out, oh, it was actually Regidrago in the back, and now I'm in danger.
Well, it's funny because that's actually what I thought was kind of one of the downsides for Younggyun's strategy there was to go for that Terrestrial really early with Heatran still in play. I think that, yeah, you kind of are dodging some Earth powers, but I like the idea of just saving your Flutter Mane and Iron Hands for the back. Focus on getting rid of the first two, and frankly, if you lead Arcanine and you could either go into Rillaboom, or I feel like you can go into Rillaboom or Urshifu. I feel like both are pretty fine, but or heck, even go into this Roaring Moon possibly, but you do have to worry about Tailwind. But regardless, get rid of the first two Pokemon. Assume the Regidraco's in the back, because that is the most common strategy, is to put it in late game and then spam Dragon Energy. So save your Flutter Mane and Iron Hands into a position where you can tear out your Iron Hands and just start knocking out or dodging those Dragon Energies and then proceed to knock it out. So
at the same time, though, the issue in the last game was the Heatran.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure that's out of the way first and foremost.
And that's where I think Urshifu is really going to help, because even with Terra Fairy, there's not much that Heatran can do. It can maybe 2-hit KO, but Surging Strikes is going to be really useful. Which also could, I would say, bring, definitely is a big case for bringing Rillaboom again. I think you definitely bring in, I think the same 4 are fine, if you're Grant. I think the same 4 are fine, and you just kind of, even if the positioning happens, you are, like I said, trapping Younggyun into going for those 2 fairy types in the back, and that's a real good advantage, knowing that, okay, these are the 2 I got to focus on until and I can bring out Regidraco right away. That does scare Regidraco a little bit because of that Terra Fairy, but it's a solid lead for Younggyun.
Very different this time. It'll be Iron Hands and Roaring Moon versus Grant's Tornadus and Farigiraf.
This is interesting because you have you Tailwind and Trick Room. So which one do you think is the better play? That's what you gotta weigh if you're Grant right now. I do think it is easier to get rid of the Tornadus because you can just double up on it to it. But a double up with a Heavy Slam plus knockoff on Farigiraf, that should also get rid of that. So
you also probably have to Terrastalize the Roaring Moon right now. Otherwise, you get Dazzling Gleamed, I think.
Unless you just go for the double up, but yeah,
unless you're trying to get rid of Farigiraf immediately, I think Dazzling Gleam will destroy you.
Yeah.
Indeed, we will see a Terrastal here, and it's going to be the Farigiraf Fairy Terra.
That's fair. I think you kind of
even.
I think Roaring Moon can just be used as a one-off kind of pawn to get rid of that Farigiraf, and
Tailwind is the choice of speed control.
I think Roaring Moon's still faster. Oh no, it's not.
Dazzling Gleam is faster.
All right, I stand corrected.
Will destroy both of these Pokemon. Not knock out the Roaring Moon. It will get the Dragon Dance off.
That's not great.
It's not great.
It's really not great.
Roaring Moon is very, very done for. Heavy Slam though. This will do less damage than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Just under half for a Giraffe, and does take some damage back on the Rocky Helmet. The problem here is that Tornadus is just able to Scary Face the Roaring Moon.
Yep.
So even if you're worried about it outspeeding,
or
you can either Bleak Wind and finish it off, or Scary Face. Well, actually, no, you can't.
It has some
Scary
Terra,
Face.
so it is still dark. But Bleak Windstorm just kind of gets rid of it.
Yeah, Bleak Wind should still be faster, even at +1. Roaring Moon has to protect you.
You have to. You have no choice.
I mean, the problem here is Iron Hands is going to take a bunch of damage from both of these Pokemon here.
Yeah.
Bleak Wind is blocked, and it will connect onto the Iron Hands. Does less damage than I would have thought, but still a little bit of damage. Dazzling Gleam, will this finish off the Iron Hands? I think it should.
I think it's in range. It's going to be a roll. It's going to be a close one.
It's going to be close, but I think it should.
I think so.
Gleam will
not quite.
Not even close. I'm surprised. I did less than I thought.
Free Heavy Slam.
Oh, because of the Rocky Helmet chip in return. That will be what finishes off the Iron Hands. So very low HP now for Farigiraf, but it is still standing. Did still get rid of the Iron Hands and does still have the option to toss out one final move.
Oof. Yeah, this is not... this is a really interesting position because that Bleak Windstorm means Roaring Moon is at risk. And I think you can go for a Rock Slide with Arcanine, but it's not really going... I mean,
the problem is it's just
slower.
It
just doesn't do much.
It'll take out Farigiraf, it'll do some decent damage to Tornadus, but Roaring Moon will already be down. and Regidraft will already get its hit off whatever it wants to do to Arcanine.
And losing Iron Hands is so important too, because that Regidrago is just looming in the back and can do some solid damage now with one of your major counters to it gone.
There goes the Roaring Moon.
No,
That'll drop down.
Kind of inevitable.
Will be the Dazzling Gleam. This was insurance, I think, to make sure that the Bleak Windstorm didn't miss. It'll do way less damage to Arcanine, and it means that the Rock Slide is going to allow for a Giraffe to go down. Tornado's not going to get dropped to Focus Sash, but basically that.
This is an interesting position right now.
Yeah, Grant is in a really nice spot.
Yeah.
You can bring in the Rillaboom at this point and just play around a little bit, see what that last Pokemon is. If it's Flutter Mane, you can, given that it is Flutter Mane, you can deal with it. It is Specs, so it can't stop anything that you want to do.
The good news is the Flutter Mane is relatively fast. Tornado should still go first, but it can't really hit anything. But you also have Scary Face.
That's the problem, is that Scary Face can go into the Flutter Mane, and Scary Face Wood Hammer should pretty cleanly knock out the Flutter Mane if that's the preferred option.
I mean, Flutter Mane shouldn't. We did see a Bleak Wind.
The Terra.
And that is to most likely Terra Fair here, yeah. I don't know if the Bleak Wind was necessarily the right call, but I don't know if it's going to matter. Well, it is an Assault Vest Rillaboom. We should take a Terra Moonblast, but...
Probably should.
And you
Bleak
do
Wind
have
misses Arcanine.
That's the one that...
Does some okay damage to Flutter Mane.
Was the least... Oh, that speed
and
drop.
Gets the speed drop.
That was...
Rillaboom now has speed.
Okay, well, there you go.
Knocks out the Flutter Mane. It's just the Arcanine remaining.
You know what? It's also interesting. It may not have actually mattered, regardless of whether the speed drop happened or not, because thinking about it, Rillaboom...
Through Tailwind, it still probably was there.
Yeah, because, I mean, Rillaboom at neutral is 105 at level 50 base speed. And I think that outspeeds Flutter Mane no matter what, if it is not booster energy. And so knowing that, it's choice specs, A, that it can't protect, and B, that, you're just in good shape. You're fine. There's no way that you were not going to outspeed that. And there's no way for it to have protected. And at this point,
now we get the dragon energy for the fans.
Yes,
Tailwind
finally
dragon
seeing Regidrago. And it would not help to Terrestrialize.
There's nothing that can happen here.
I mean, at this point, you could click also Earth Power, because
you could click any move.
But Dragon Energy's cooler.
Wanted to see.
Exactly. It's like Earth Power now. That's the safe play. We're gonna go Dragon Energy because why not?
Yeah, that's what we want to see. Grant Weldon will win round number 3. He'll move to 2-1. Younggyun will move to 1-2. Though, still 2 more rounds to work with.
And there is still a shot for Younggyun too, because don't forget, 3 2s will make it statistically, because we have 18 players or 19 players. It's about 3 to 4 3 2s are going to sneak in, so it's still a shot. But well done to Grant there. We saw that Regidrago just kind of do nothing but assert dominance at the very end, and it was very entertaining.
It was very entertaining. In any case, tournament's heating up. We're getting to the final rounds. We're heading into round 4 next. Keep it here. Don't go anywhere.